sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks. With that, we send you up to US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Standing by our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Dan Bailey now to put the ball in the air, and we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. Quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson, coming out here. And while the MVP award looks like it will be Lamar Jackson's, not Russell Wilson's, he had a heck of a season. Over 4,000 yards for the third time, 31 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions. And CD, while we saw the emergence of DK Metcalf late in the year, does Russell Wilson need more surrounding him firepower-wise offensively?
Well, they certainly do, and I think the Seattle will work to get that. And if you're looking at the receiver position and you're looking at the draft, it's a really deep wide receiver class for 2020. So they'll have opportunities there. I think they'll just continue to fortify. They're going to want to get their running backs back. They had a couple that got dinged at the end of the year, and Chris Carson and Rashad Penny. But they get back to being Seattle that way, running the heck out of them and throwing to those big wide receivers. They feel pretty good about what Dangerous can give them at the quarterback position. And how about what he did at the Pro Bowl?
Oh, that was neat.
Right? He was voted the starter, looked at Drew Brees and said, hey, you're Drew Brees. You should start ahead of me, and gave up his position. Very cool.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. They run it with Carson. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down. So opening drive, 3 straight runs, unable to pick up the first.
I know the fans want to see first downs, but guess what? The coaches have reasons.
And look here, it's an opening drive fake. But he will not make the first down marker. That'll be a turnover on downs.
Anytime a fake doesn't work, we usually focus our attention on the guys that were unsuccessful. But how about the defensive guys? They have to plan all week. They have to prepare all week. Special teams, it looked like they were educated for that one.
Educated on their toes and getting a big stop. Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Now Cousins. And he is going to go down. They sack him on the final play of the first quarter.
Go ahead, take a seat. You can't stop me.
No score after 1 on EA Sports. Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. A toss to Cook. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds right around the 7. It's a pickup of 3, but still a little work to do on 3rd and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness. Think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
So Cousins heads to the Vikings sideline, and on is Dan Bailey to try the field goal. From the left hash, a chip shot here. Bailey's kick is good, and the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game, because anytime you can get to the red zone, and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
As Seattle jogs back on the field here, you can't help but think with their season that the old cliche, the game of inches, comes into play for the 2019 Seahawks, because Week 17, that game against the 49ers, Jacob Hollister tackled inches from the goal line, maybe a half a yard. That really changed everything, didn't it?
It certainly did, because if Hollister scores and Seattle wins, they end up getting the open week and getting that little extra rest in the playoffs, and San Francisco goes to Philadelphia to play. And in my mind, San Francisco beats Philadelphia but doesn't advance to the Super Bowl. They needed the break.
He's got him in, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. It's a gain of 35.
I think it's pretty safe to say that initially they had to be thinking about trying to get into field goal range. But after that shot right there, they've got to be thinking bigger right now.
And that was probably their thought offensively. If we hit this, great, let's go for the end zone. If not, settle for a field goal. Looks like they can try to hit pay dirt. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Tyler Lockett, 43 yards. And the Seahawks have taken the lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Fairly short kick, taken at the 14 here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And looking at this situation, Charles, you got more than a minute. You've got all 3 timeouts. Probably no need to play this safe.
So what you're saying is that we're doing a little bit of a mind meld here, aren't we? Because I'm thinking along the same lines as you. This amount of time, be compelled to play it too safe. This is a chance to get points on the board. Press it a little bit.
Especially since a touchdown here gets you the lead. The Vikings going to start first to their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. A first down throw for Cousins. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Cousins trying to get his guys up to the line of scrimmage quickly. To try again after the sack. Cousins, Bobby Wagner, the former second-rounder out of Utah State with a sack. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here third and long. Third down, Dalvin Cook. A pretty good effort there, 9 yards, but not enough. We'll likely see the punt team now on fourth down. So on fourth down, Britton Colquitt on to punt. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. So we've reached halftime here, and just like that, on we head to half number 2. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give.
Say goodbye to Laquan Treadwell. Touchdown, Vikings. Laquan Treadwell. 65 yards. And the Vikings are going to retake the lead. They had just given up the lead, and they get it right back.
Yeah, how about that? Answered quickly. Got right back to it. And look, long drives have their place. We know that. They can wear teams down. But when you hit them with big plays like that, that can really be a shot to them. A big-time one.
Yeah, one play, but now your defense is probably saying, man, we could have used a little more rest over here. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Now we'll see what this Seahawks offense has in store with their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
A good pickup there, 26 yards. From Viking territory now, they'll come up first and 10 at the 49-yard line. Now Wilson. He'll find Metcalf. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. DK Metcalf, 49 yards. And the Seahawks have once again taken the lead.
That drive was quick and impressive. Almost like they had somewhere else they needed to be after the game.
The extra point now coming from Myers. And that makes it 14-10. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. The Seahawks got it. They did. It's Seattle football. Well, they just scored. They got the lead, and they decide to keep their foot on the accelerator, so to speak.
Scouting, scouting, scouting. They had to have seen something in their preparation for this game that told them in this situation, if they get the look they like, let's go ahead and go for it anyway. They like being bold.
They go play action here on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Everson Griffin showing his strength and quickness there, a loss of 4. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively, pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well, and that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. The intended receiver was DK Metcalf, and that'll make it third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Now Wilson. And that will be incomplete.
Wilson's pass intended for DK Metcalf. Incomplete. Harrison Smith.
Now here's Michael Dixon. And surprisingly, this is the first. And they're going to try this again. It's another fake. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Hey, 4 down.
10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. This is caught. And he takes it into the end zone across the chalk. Now there is a flag down. But I think that's offsides on the defense.
Yeah, I think that's going to stand, partner.
And yes, they want the points, so they will decline the penalty. No question there.
You don't think they spent a couple of seconds mulling over what the penalty would do for them?
I don't even know why they asked the sideline.
Not at all. When you put the ball in the end zone on a takeaway, take the points and keep moving.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. He's got it, and this is indeed up to a 3-point lead. A nice, tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So Wilson and the Seahawks down 17-14, a minute 52 to play. They need, at minimum, 3 points out of this as they come up 1st and 10. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Not in a position where they absolutely have to rush right now, but they definitely have to pick up the tempo a bit.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Wilson to throw. And, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. He's back to throw. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. The former Pro Bowl linebacker Anthony Barr there to jar it free. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
I know they got a little yardage there, but I'm not sure their investment is right. They're still running the football, and I'm not sure there's enough time to continue to do that.
Wilson after the play fake to Carson. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
I'm a little surprised right here. They've got 3 timeouts left. The clock's running down, and they aren't using them. Those timeouts do you no good at home. Use them now.
Here's Carson. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Well, partner, still a head-scratcher to me how this one ended. Down 3. I just thought, no matter the situation, you're in a spot where you can kick that field goal and go to overtime. Why not do it?
And this is where I think the analytics guys are going to continue to get more and more traction in the league. We've talked about different people now saying, I need a game management coach, someone in the booth to take the emotion out of it. Did they lose track of where they were on the clock, right? Did they lose track of where they were on the field? Was it makeable?